What's going on, guys? SasDood here. You can just call me Sas. Hope everyone is having a great day. Today we have a art supply art tool review, and that is on the ArtSkills Ultra Thin Light Pad. Now, I bought this off of eBay for about $16, and you can find it for the same price, around $16 to $21 from eBay, Michaels, Walmart, third parties, etc. Right? And this has helped me a lot with my drawing. It's really leveled up my drawing, and it can level up yours too. What is a light pad, right? A light pad is this thing right here. Right? Got it. And it's a tool you use to like trace over your original drawings, right? So back in the day, we used to have, uh, you know, the light boxes, right? And these were the really heavy, really big boxes. You put like a piece of paper under, and then the original drawing under, and then you put a piece of paper over on top of like where the light projects up from the bottom, I think, and you would trace over it, right? And you would copy that. So why would you want to do that is because if you have like an original pencil sketch that you don't want to like ruin, you like if you want to ink over, you don't want to ruin it, you could just draw it over again in pencil and then have a separate copy, or you can just trace directly on top of the ink, right? Um, these light boxes became less and less, you know, I'm sure schools still use them, but now that technology has improved and we have, you know, we're able to like manufacture these things from China and things like that at a lower and lower price for art tools and such. We have these ultra thin, they call them now light pads because these aren't really, light boxes anymore, right? Um, and these just take USB. So this one uses a micro USB B to type A, and that's pretty cool, right? So what you do is you just plug it into a computer or the wall, right? And then you plug this end into the light pad itself. So I don't have it actually plugged in, but you just plug it in like that. It's a little hard sometimes. Like that, right? This one is 9.4 inches by 12.5. It's got 3 light levels from low to medium to strong. It comes with the cable, the light pad, and 4 of these clip things, right? Like I said, it's got 3 levels, and ideally you want to use it in the dark, right? It's got this light sensitive button right here that you just tap once for low light, tap twice for medium, and tap 3 times for strong. It's got the ruler guidelines, as you can see here. I don't really use the ruler guidelines, and I don't use these clips. I use these jumbo paper clips I got from Walmart for $3 or so, something like that, right? So why would you use a light pad? It's very useful for copying over your original drawing. So, uh, oops, my fault. I have tracing paper. I bought this SuFly tracing paper right here, and I bought this, and I got this random, right? I got the printer paper, right? So here we have some of my drawings right here. So this is a recent drawing of my Conan Exiles character, Yasmin, and I used the tracing table or tracing light pad to uh, make this artwork, right? So you could have like, so if you have just like the base sketch, you can overlay a piece of paper on top, and then you can ink over it, or you can just create a separate copy to pencil over as well. Lots of artists use these. It's very helpful. Or like maybe you print out a photograph and you trace over it, or maybe you have a portrait of a family member and you want to like render it differently, or you're doing like a master copy from like DaVinci, or like you're just copying an artist you like. You can print out their picture, or you can trace over it like you can digitally, and you can learn what they do. Maybe you can like draw their things differently, or things like that, right? There's plenty of use cases, right? And now I'm going to demonstrate to you how to use the light pad, how I use it, and some examples you can use. you can do, you know, some tips I've learned for using a light pad. All right, so I'll see you guys when I switch. Now that we talked about the light pad and some of the things it does, let's put it into action, right? So I have this old drawing that not old, but I just did this week, and this is my Conan Exiles character Yasmin, and I have tracing paper here, right? So put it over tracing paper, put over that, and then this came out, right? Well, I traced this from my tablet, and then I traced over this one, right? I put it like that. Another example is just take a regular piece of printer paper and you take another piece of regular printer paper. So this is just a portrait of her. And what you would do is you would just line it up like this, right? And let me turn off the lights to show you, you know, how to quickly do it, right? Now that I have the lights turned off, I can show you the first setting, second setting, and third setting. The low, medium, strong light. I have the base drawing here. I have my printer paper here. I recommend using like these jumbo paper clips instead of the clips that come with the board, because you have to line it up with the board and everything and all that. But I bought these, I don't know, for a couple dollars off Walmart. What you would do is line up the two pieces together, put the paper clips on there, and you might need to buy more because some of these get like really loose over time. So I'm gonna need to buy some more. I don't know where I put the box. At my dad's place, but now we can fully see her. We can just trace, right? And this is good if you're like inking or you're doing like a pencil sketch and you don't want to ruin the base pencil sketch. I'm obviously not going to trace the whole thing, but it's basically the same thing how I showed off in my Samsung tablet video, how to use your Samsung tablet as a what do you call it? A light table, except this is more like of a low tech, you know, solution per se than an actual, because I do both. I trace off my tablet whenever I set up the image and the pose, and then I use this. Let me just sketch. Let me trace this real quick. I mean, you can do the same thing with a window. You can do the same thing off your like computer screen or things like that. Doesn't really matter. And so, turn this off now. And kind of difficult to see here, but I can show it when I turn the lights back on. Yeah, I traced her pretty much, you know, perfectly. Obviously, it still needs to be rendered and such, but I don't really like doing it off of printer paper anymore. I bought this tracing paper called SuFly, and what I do is I just use the SuFly paper now because it's much easier. You can see the image much more clearly off my Samsung tablet and off of the light pad as well. So what I do is, how I do is I normally cut the printer paper to the size of my tablet and then tape it to the tablet and trace over that, and then I cut a similar size of this tracing paper, and that's how you would want to do it if you want like if you have like an iPad, like a small iPad or something, and you want it perfectly on the screen, you can cut it to size or things of that nature, right? But I recommend using tracing paper instead, right? Turn the lights back on. And as you can see here, there's the a partial trace of the image, right? And you can do this with basically, if you like print out a photograph, you can trace over it. If you have like your own image that you created, like I do, like I pose my characters in Conan Exiles, or I pose my own characters in 3D models, trace over that, things of that nature. Any tool you can use to, you know, get your art out there, as long as you're not stealing or whatever. It's not really cheating. But that's how I use this light pad mainly. Let's get back to the face cam here. Now that I showed you guys how to use it, let's talk about the pros and the cons of using a light pad. Obviously, there's a lot of pros. If you want to trace over your own image or a photograph or an artist image, then obviously that's a big pro. Con is the light pad touch button, power button is very sensitive. Sometimes I'll do like a portrait drawing and I'll have it face this way, and I'll be drawing and my wrist will accidentally touch the power button. So maybe it could have been a switch or something like that. I feel like the touch buttons, I'm not a big fan of touch buttons. You know, I'm always a big fan of like tactile switches and things like that. I do like the ruler guidelines on the sides here, and I do like that it's like a very large surface area, 9 by 12 and a half, I believe, 9 by 12, big surface area. Con is these little paper clips. Not a big fan of these like things. Just go buy like a jumbo paper clip. I think that's much better. I do like that it's USB cable, right? And it does come with a like head, I think. I believe this is the exact head it comes with. I'm not too sure. So you can plug it in the wall, or you can just plug it through your computer or something like that. Big pro is that it's very cheap. I bought it for $16, I think free shipping, I believe. It was a while ago. That was like a year ago, so I don't exactly remember, but 16 to 20 is what you'll pay, and you can find them readily available everywhere. Apparently they were like being sold only at Sam's Club, because on the back it says something about Sam's Club. So I'm not too sure about that. But the only con I can think of is the paper clips are crappy, which like it's like whatever. That's like a non-issue, to be honest. You can just buy your own paper clips. But the only con is the power button. You'll when you're drawing, you'll touch it, or however you have your drawing set up and like your recording set up and things like that. I very much find myself turning it on and turning it off on accident. But that's the only big con I can think of. The price is great. It's a great tool for artists, for traditional artists, and it really helps, you know, prevent some of the fuss from trying to copy your images over. Like you would I guess you could take your piece of paper and like put it up to your computer monitor or like your laptop, like have your laptop down here and trace over like that, or put it up to your windowsill and trace it like that as well. But this is just a much easier alternative method. It's quite portable. It's not that big, and it takes any USB Type A to micro B cable. So very convenient. And if it breaks or whatever, because it's made in China, not saying that all things made in China are crap, but most of the lower end stuff is. You can find better stuff in China than in the United States or any other place if you're willing to spend the money. But for a $20 investment, it's lasted me a year, and I'm pretty sure it'll last me for at least a little while longer. But I think that the ArtSkills Ultra Thin Light Pad is very much worth it and should be added. Like any type of light pad, really. You don't have to buy this particular light pad, but they have no-name brands. They have brand names and things like that. Any type of light pad is basically necessary for a traditional artist when you want to copy a work, when you want to ink it over and you don't want to mess up your base drawing, right? So I would have to give this a very good, you know, double thumbs up, 10 out of 10 rating, to be honest with you. I don't like ratings, but it's a very good product regardless. For the price, for what it sets out to do, and for how it helps me with my drawing, I think it's a very good product. It's got a double thumbs up for me, and that's pretty much it, guys. Maybe you can go out and buy this and try it out for yourself. Hopefully my review has helped you. But that's going to be it, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you wish to support me and my artwork and my videos, my social media and tipping links will be in my profile. More videos, more artwork will come regardless. Goodbye for now, guys.